One day back in 1999, I was conducting the London Philharmonic Orchestra at the Royal Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. And in the hall, there was a man. His name is Hans Bühler. And apparently he was the director of a children's hospital, of the Rotterdam SOPHIA Children's Hospital. And after the concert, he came to me and he gave me his business card and he said, "Please call me on Monday." And I was a bit surprised because I didn't know the man. He didn't talk to me. The only thing was that he said, "Call me on Monday." So on Monday, I called him and he said, "Well, I have an idea. In a year from now, in 2002, there is a Rotterdam capital city of culture in Europe, and we would like to commission a piece." And I was very surprised because he only had heard one composition of mine. So he invited me to Rotterdam and we started talking. And he said, "Well, listen, we would like to commission a piece, but you have to make something that has to do with the philosophy of the children's hospital. And the philosophy of the Sophia's Children's Hospital is to bring the outside world in and the inside world out." So after having discussed a couple of hours, I accepted the commission. And in those early days, I didn't know what to do. Would it be a concerto? Would it be a symphony? Would it be an overture? I had no idea. I stayed a couple of weeks in the hospital and I got to know a lot of children that unfortunately were diagnosed with cancer. And by the time I was starting to write this composition, I got in touch with a young lady and her name was Manon, and she was diagnosed with cancer, and she only had a short time to live. And as we were talking about her disease and about her life, I got inspired, really got inspired to write a violin concerto. And the story of Manon was for me the beginning of my composition. And I wrote a violin concerto. It's actually more a symphonic poem for a violin and orchestra. And the violin is, in my mind at least, the violin is the inner world of Manon, and the orchestra is the world around Manon, the family, the doctors, the school, the friends, etc. And this composition, this violin concerto, consists of 7 movements. The first movement, it's about the world of the unborn child, the inner world, and we can feel the heartbeat of the mother and the child. So it's a little bit a mysterious and introverted world. The second movement, it's the birth, the euphoria, the outside world, the growing of the child, the love, the warmth, the joy, the energy, the play, and the happy life. The third movement, it's a very special movement because this is the turnaround of the inner world. So the disease appears in the form of a creeping poison in the body, and the child is in an induced coma. In the fourth movement, the diagnosis is made in the outside world. Serious illness, aggressive cancer. The parents are completely off the cart. They are desolate. And the father, represented by the cello, is at the edge of the bed. So in this movement, we hear a very moving dialogue between the father and the daughter, represented by the cello and the violin. The fifth movement. In the inner world, a life and death battle is being waged There is a confrontation between medicine and disease. Then the battle between the violin and the orchestra. In the sixth movement, we hear the doubt and the flirting with the dead. And last but not least, in the last movement, there is the victory and the healing.
We just finished recording the concerto, Sophia. It's actually a symphonic poem, I think I can say. It's a fantastic concerto. For me, it's very personal because the story behind it is about a girl who was actually, well, you see her in her entire life from birth. Unfortunately, after a while she gets ill, she gets cancer. It's something I can relate to. I had personal experience in my family with that. And you discover the entire process of her illness, but also the joy, but also the pain, the fear of the family, the fear of losing somebody. It's all in this concerto, and it's fantastically written. I'm super, super, super excited about this result of the piece. It's a virtuoso concerto as well. It's very demanding for the violin, but at the same time, it's incredibly rewarding. Of course, this is not a classical concerto, but it's a contemporary piece, and in that sense, you always have to get used a bit to the language of the composer. Luckily, I have performed quite some pieces of Maestro Brossé, and I love actually the language. It's it's demanding for both left and right hand, but also mentally demanding. But I like it, and it was, it was a good challenge, I would say. I think the level demands quite high quality of technique from the violinist. That being said, I think in its whole, it's a fantastic concerto to learn, and I wish in the future it will be part a bit more of the standard repertoire, because as violinists we're super used to play Brahms, Beethoven, Mendelssohn concerti, but I think it's super valuable to perform these kind of pieces and also learn this kind of repertoire. I had a great experience recording and working together with the Brussels Philharmonic. I felt very much at home and incredibly supported, so it has been a fantastic journey. If I would have to describe this concerto with one word, I would think I would pick the word adventure for it. I hope a lot of aspiring young violinists and musicians get a chance to get to know this concerto and feel the same musical connection as I had with the concerto. It's not just the notes, it's actually the story behind it which makes it even more, which makes its impact even bigger. And for me it's a concerto very close to my heart, so I hope more people will experience that soon.
For me, this violin concerto is a very important composition. First of all, because of the human content of the piece, but also because of the artistic level. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great pleasure for me. It's really fantastic to record this music. It's one of the highlights in my musical life. Really, it's really fantastic and really moving that you are recording one of my works I love very much. And then I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, Lisa, je hebt een fantastische job gedaan in de aanleiding naar de voorbereidende concerten 1,5 jaar geleden, maar ook nu weer en iedere keer weer topvorm en iedere keer weer met de juiste emotie. En ik heb een kleine attentie voor u. Voilà, een klein bloemetje from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
If my violin concerto would survive time, I would be a very happy man.